Good evening. My name is Brad Morris, and it is my pleasure to call this May 19th, 2016 meeting of the Bella Vista Property Owners Association Board of Directors to order. And I would request that each of you rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and would you please remain standing for the invocation to be delivered by Mr. Dale Schatz of the Heritage Baptist Church.
Let us pray. Father in heaven, as we gather here this evening to do business, we pray for your blessing. We understand, dear God, that we do sin, we have sinned, and our nation has followed many principles that are not in your word. But we pray as a people here that we might follow your word, we might do that which is pleasing unto you. Therefore, we can expect your blessing upon it. So we thank you, Lord, for those that serve, and we pray your blessing upon the meeting, on them that serve. We thank you so much, and we look forward to your blessing on us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Dale. Just a couple of quick housekeeping matters that I'm going to address under item 4 of the agenda, which is the deletions and additions to the agenda. First of all, I am Brad Morris. I am not Bob Brooks. Bob Brooks is the chair of this board, but Bob is out of town on business this evening, so as vice chair, I will be leading the meeting this afternoon, or this evening. So that's the first thing, and I would also note that Ron Stratton has been provided Bob's voting proxy for this evening, so Ron will be actually voting with both hands tonight when we come to those issues that require a vote. Also, just a bit of clarification for those of you who attended the POA annual meeting just Tuesday of this week and or voted in the Board of Director election. My guess is that you know that Andrew Davis was elected to be added to the Board of Directors and to serve along with us. But the key point there is that Andrew will begin his service on all matters after June 1 of this year. So Andrew's present. Andrew, why don't you just turn around and show everybody who you are? So we're happy to have Andrew here this evening, but he won't be voting or otherwise participating as a board member tonight. And then lastly, just want to make a point, and you'll be able to read about this in next week's Bella Vista Vista newspaper. But if you read the Vista on Wednesday and were a little confused or puzzled as to how Brian Kelly became the POA attorney, or Jason Kelly became the POA attorney, this headline is wrong, okay, plain and simple. The Vista knows that. They're going to have a retraction, but this is Doug McCash. Doug is the legal counsel for the POA, and the city and the POA, although we cooperate on a number of matters and work together as best we can in a lot of different areas, we do not share legal counsel, okay? So we've got Jason for the city, Doug for the POA, and if you were confused, I apologize, but it was a simple human error in writing a headline, and just wanted to clarify that. Okay, returning to the agenda, are there any other additions or deletions to the agenda? And Tom Judson, our Chief Operating Officer, has asked me to add a motion relative to requesting an alcohol permit for serving liquor at the Scottsdale Golf Links. So we will be adding this as a potential, or not a potential, as an action item for this evening as well. But that'll come later on, really at the end of new business tonight. Okay. Next on the agenda, item 5 is approval of minutes. The board members have been provided a copy of the minutes from the April 21st, 2016 board meeting. Can I have a motion for approval of those minutes?
I move we approve the minutes as recorded.
Thank you, Patrick. Do I have a second? Ruth seconds. Is there any further discussion on the item? Call for a motion on approval of the minutes from April 21, 2016. All in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. I assume you're voting for Bob twice? Okay, thank you, Ron. Just want to make sure we had a unanimous vote there. Moving on, item 6 is employee recognition, celebrating success, and I'll turn over the microphone to Tom Judson.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Glenda Sue Morris. I work in the Human Resource Department here, and I have 4 wonderful employees that I'd like to bring up at this time. Kathy Bernthal, David Fletcher, Ray Pettit, and Brian Hatfield. Come on over here, you guys. First of all, I'd like to introduce Kathy Bernthal. She's been with us since 2008 and has had the responsibility of being our staff accountant. She's a unique employee. She may think of herself as a simple company representative, but her actions go far beyond that. Kathy knows how to implement better accounting processes that makes life easier for our members and our employees. She answers questions in a manner that is easy to understand and never makes you feel like you are interrupting her. Kathy Bernthal's positive attitude and easy smile makes it a pleasure to work with her. Next, we have a gentleman named Brian Hatfield. Brian Hatfield has been with us since 2005, but before that, before Bella Vista was incorporated, he worked with the Streets Department. He then transferred into our Central Gulf Maintenance Department, and he has learned to run every piece of heavy-duty equipment we own. Brian takes pride in what he does, whether mowing along Highway 71 with his 20-foot wide bat wing mower or building a stone embankment to protect against erosion. And he says he simply enjoys making Bella Vista look good. We are fortunate to have David Fletcher right here with his blue shirt with the name David on it. You're looking good tonight. In our Water Services Department, David came to us with 7 years of previous experience in rural water systems, utility line services, and heavy construction equipment. As a crew leader, when we're faced with an emergency and a water line breaks, and for some unknown reason, it likes to break in the middle of the night, David is there supervising and coordinating the crew to ensure the job is done right with safety first. Water utility crews work tirelessly behind the scene so that when our members wake up, they have water in the morning. David Fletcher is a great asset to the Water Services Department. And last but not least, for 12 long years, Ray Pettit has been an analyst in our Information Technology Services Department. Ray has the unique ability to think outside of the box, which is an amazing talent that a lot of people don't have. He never hits a roadblock that he can't tackle. If he is not coding or analyzing data, he is busy virtualizing our network, servers, and data storage. And I asked him what virtualizing means. I couldn't understand a word of it. Anyway, as you know, with over 45 square miles, our community is expansive, and our computer network runs unbelievable distances to several remote golf courses and other buildings. Ray is a real gem, and we're thankful to have him.
Thank you, Glenda Sue. We just wanted to take this opportunity to celebrate success and great customer service and hard work We want to make sure we always recognize hard work. And if you ever see any of our employees out there doing a great job, please let them know that. It doesn't have to be in a formal basis. It just can be a simple thank you. But we have a really hard-working crew, and these individuals here are doing a fantastic job on our behalf. So I have a little token of our appreciation, but thank you so much for your hard work.
Thank you. Love you. All right, love you too.
For those of you who are frequent attenders to our board meetings, you may have noticed that that's a first time here. And I'm really, really glad that that became part of our board meeting, is to recognize a few of the literally hundreds of employees who work hard to make this a great community. So thanks again, guys, for being here, and look forward to honoring some of your peers in the months ahead. I'm going to turn it over to Dwayne Mitchell, our treasurer, for a review of our financial statements through the month of April.
All right, this is the April 2016 year-to-date financial statements, and these are in thousands of dollars. This is the POA statement, starting with the first line of assessments. We've seen this line kind of not be what we'd like it to be. It's also a high number against variance to budget this year, this month, down $285,000. I've got some graphs to kind of to show you, to talk about collections and an ongoing effort we're doing. Come on, there we go. These are improved accounts. And in delinquency, we look at anything over 120 days. You can see the far right over here, or the far left, excuse me, is May of 2015, and here we are, 4 of 2016. You can see the trend is down. That's a positive thing, and it's really fallen really when we've really started working on it here in due diligence and hiring extra collection efforts to make calls and to send out emails. So we are getting a handle on it, but we've got a ways to go. These are the same slide, but these are the unimproved, the ones without a water meter. And you can see the same slide. It is going down, and it's even lower than where the lowest point was in 2015, which was right here. It's lower than that, so that's a positive sign. We're in the right direction anyway. And this is the combined slide of both of those, and you can see combined we're still overall. We've got work to do, but I just wanted to show you the trend, and we'll give you more details as we go along. Looking at the golf fee in revenue, we're down $239,000 to budget, and I want to come back here to that one. We've got some unfavorable variances this month. We've got, and we've, the first 3 months we said we were going to kind of work about being even. Okay, now we're past that. So annual seat leases are down 56, private carts are down 53, guest fees are down 44, member fees down 33. The only positive we had is 1,000 better than budget in driving range, but you can see the negatives. But before we get all discouraged about that, this is the actuals 2015 here in this line, and this is the actual 2016 that you see, this 1851. You can see even overall we're better than where we were this time last year, so that still is a positive. It could be some budget timing, but anyway, I just want to bring that to you since we do see 239, but we're actually up 80,000 more than we did in the same period 2015. Looking at the next variance, it's a positive variance, 21,000 in RV. RV park is up 18 and RV storage is up 3. And in my knowledge, this is the first time RV storage has ever been better than budget. So that is a plus, and that's something to shout about. Facility use fees, recreation fees are up 31,000 from budget, and photo IDs have been trending higher all year. They're up 5,000 for an overall 36,000 better than budget. This is through April. Boat registrations, we're looking at total boat fees down 48. Boat registrations themselves are down 37 from budget, and dock is 11. But there again, we look at the comparison from last year. We're up on boat registration slightly. Year to date, we were 219. This year, we're 227. We're up 8. And dock fees were about flat, 1,000 different. But anyway, when you look at the trend, I think we're going in the right direction, even though we're not quite with budget yet. Investment income, we've seen this rise this year. That's good. We've actually made some actual revenue on investment income and then some market adjustment. The market is coming back as it took the fall the last 3 months of last year. You saw that kind of dip, but we're 213,000 better than budget. That's a positive number. Looking at lot sales, right now we haven't had anybody selling lots, but now legal does have somebody that is starting to sell lots, so we're 23,000 less than budget. And you can see last year at this time we were 44,000 versus the 10. So hopefully with that person in that position, we'll start seeing that lot sales go back up towards budget and past it. Transfer fees. Transfer fees are down 52, but that includes research fees too. Transfer fees are actually up when you compare to last year, and we'll show that in just a minute, but the transfer fees themselves are down 36. And the research fee is something that we added in 2016, but it just hasn't quite worked because some of the teeth went out of it right at the very last minute. But it's an extra $50 when we have to send things back to the title company. They want to close, but then something doesn't happen, and so we have to do a whole bunch of extra paperwork and send it back again. But right now, that fee is $50, and a lot of the title companies are just not paying that fee. But you can see right here the difference. The 150 or the 70,000 last year in transfer fees, we're actually 105, so we're up 35. That's a very positive change from last year. Other income, cell tower commissions are higher than budget by 14. In advertising, we've seen that slide all year. It's down 56,000. So overall, we're 40,000 less than budget. Looking at total income with all the things we've talked about before, we're down 435. You can see the reasons. Cost of sales were higher than budget by 6, and again, that's due to the pro shop, the golf expo, where we'd sold things below cost to get them out of our older inventory. And gross profit is $441,000 less than what we had budgeted. Looking at the expense section, the same POA. Salaries and wages are down $304,000. That's a positive variance. Golf maintenance open positions and some cutbacks, $62,000 savings there. Golf operations open positions, cutbacks, and also the flood from 2015, $52,000. MAC open positions, 29, delayed adjustments, 94, and the balance of various vacancies, hours all across the division. Employee benefits is also better than budget by 26 due to health insurance and payroll taxes. Looking at maintenance and repairs, that's higher than budget, but that's an easy reason. The flood repairs in golf have sent that above budget, but we have reserves to come in and pay for that. But it's $22,000 at this point combined on the POA, higher than budget. Fuel and oil, that's a good savings, $34,000. I just want to bring that to your attention. We're still having some fuel cost savings with the market, and that's good. That's always good because we use a lot of fuel. Professional services are a little higher than budget, 25. IT consultants for that virtualization you were hearing about a while ago. We've had some extra things on that, and also some changing in TEI to make it more member-friendly, and especially when we added the water and the membership and doing some extra stuff. The economic development study split with the city, and also outside legal expenses are driving that number. Postage a little higher than budget, $21,000, due to member communications and publication mailing cost. Other, this is a positive number, $97,000 less than budget. Bad debts has less than budget, and that's a good trend. That's another way we can show that we're collecting a little more too. We're writing off an allowance, so that's a positive number to use with that top number on that allowance or the assessments. Total expenses, therefore, less than budget, $461,000. Again, this is the POA. Net income is $33,000 better than budget, and as a comparison, show you where we are last year, right there. Net income or cost of operation on the POA, we were $551,000, including timing of net income. This year we're $307,000, or a difference of $244,000. You can see what some of those differences were based on those numbers. Capital projects, a little higher than budget, $30,000. The project at Metfield went a little higher because we added some extra things that really weren't part of it, but we've also brought some reserves in to pay for those things, the $20,000. Reserves for other projects, again, I told you the flood, we've already spent about $100,000 on that 2015 Christmas flood, and some of that's brought over here, and the $25,000 expense is also brought back that we had reserved. Simple cash flow on the POA is $136,000 better than budget. That's a positive. Looking at the same time frame on water through April, investment income is also higher here by $100,000 due to the same reason, the income that we've made on our investments and also market adjustments. Water is actually higher than budget in this. This is kind of neat. We don't see this too often. Water sales were actually higher by 84,000 year to date. That's good. New connections higher by 17. Other just kind of variances, but overall 100,000. That's better. That's good. Other income, water capital buying fees and miscellaneous, 38,000 better than budget. Total income on water is 238,000 higher than budget. Looking at our cost, our year-to-date costs are 34.9 and budget is 33.9. That's good. That's coming back. We had some problems earlier. We had some major leaks in the first quarter, but now that's kind of coming back, especially as we sell more water. We're going to see that kind of come back into a more normal frame. Gross profit, 178,000. Looking at expense section, salaries and wages are better than budget by 40,000 due to vacancies, open positions, and delayed adjustments again. Looking down total expenses, there's not too much more to talk about through those lines. The total expenses are better by 35, and again, most of it for salaries and wages. Net income on this statement, this is water, 223,000 higher than what we had budgeted. This is last year, year-to-date 2015 was 60,000 cost of operation. 2016 is 118. You can see where that 118 comes. I want to take you back there, right there, as a comparison. So the difference between the 2 years is about 58,000. Down the simple cash flow, capital projects, we actually had some savings on some projects that we've closed, 3,000, small amount. And then the simple cash flow on this statement, the water utility by itself, 216,000 better than budget. Any questions? That concludes my report.
Anybody on the board have any questions for Dwayne on these? And thank you, Dwayne, appreciate it. And just as a reminder to the members, our financial statements every month are available to you on the website. You may not see all of Dwayne's analysis on the website, but the actual financial statements, income statements, balance sheets, et cetera, are available for your review on the website every month. Okay. Next item is response to previous open forum comments, and I'll just go through those quickly. We had comments last month about the Loch Lomond fishing dock, which we approved as part of our actions last month. There were a couple of members who had comments relative to the possible sale of the Arkmo property, which we resolved through a vote of the board last month. And there were let's see, a policy or a question on how we're billing members for the assessments and whether the coupons or that whole thing was saving money. And somebody suggested that we provide the billing on a simple postcard instead of an envelope and a mailer and all that sort of thing. And I know that our staff is looking at that possibility of using a postcard to reduce our mailing costs. And beyond that, I think that's pretty much it in terms of open forum comments from last month. But we are now into item number 9 on the agenda, which is new open forum comments from any of the members here this evening. And all we ask is that you come on up to the microphone, not only so that we can hear you, but so that the television cameras can catch you as well. Give us your name and address and let us know what you're thinking. Okay, we'll go on to item 10 on the agenda, which is joint advisory committee reports. We have 3 joint advisory committees, the Lakes Committee, the Recreation Committee, and the Golf Committee. And the first item is the Lakes Committee. John Doyle.
Good evening. The Lakes Committee, Tom, held our May meeting yesterday afternoon at the Reardon Hall. And as usual, we had Vern Olafson as well as Rick Eccles, the biologist, as our management members who come in and give us some insights as to what was going on. Vern had discussed some of the maintenance, that they're working on some of the ranger boats at each of the lakes to make sure they're all in working order, so when the rangers go out in them, they don't get stuck and can't come back. And of course, some of that nighttime things, that wouldn't be the greatest thing. And of course, Vern mentioned that he's the first to be called, so he was glad to make sure that maintenance was being done. He also discussed some of the weed control on the dams. We started some weed control to keep those tempered down. Rick Eccles, of course, the biologist, he seems to be hitting his stride. New guy, but he seems to be very personable. He brought some of his fish in from the nursery ponds. As you know, we have a couple of nursery ponds down on the golf course, and it was more of a show and tell. Had a little jar full of crappie, a little jar full of walleye, and seems to be working very well. He's very encouraged by what he's seen with it, and as is the staff or the JAC group. Probably the biggest thing we discussed, redundancy. As requested by Tom, this year we have 6 new members. We have a 9-member staff. 6 of those were new, so we were looking for a redundancy policy. So this coming year, we'll have 3 of the members who will volunteer to resign or hold their first holding of 3 years, doing the same thing next year, so we never have more than 3 members at a time or every year that will need to be filled. I know Bob and I worked this year, and there was quite a few people that had to be interviewed because we had such a large group, and it doesn't help from a knowledge base to keep some of the, or it's better to have members that have been on for a longer period of time. Thinking what else we talked about, John? I think that was pretty close. We had discussed the, we also discussed the marina, the dock. We're looking forward to helping and seeing what comes of that. So I believe that was pretty much what we had on plan. Of course, we'll again meet in June. The other thing we did discuss, one more thing, was utilization. That's really my goal this year, is to try to impress upon the JAC group, how do we help utilize our lakes? We always talk about the fishing and we talk about the boating. Are there other ways that we can get members encouraged? We have beautiful facilities. I know we've all been out on them, but it would be wonderful to see more of our members using those lakes, whether it's with walking facilities or helping with the kayakers, whatever it might be. So that'll be a goal that we have for the rest of the year, to try to come up with some of those ideas, and then we will present them back, of course, to the board. And I think that was it. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Recreation Committee, Tony Breyer? Oh, okay.
Hi, I'm Judy Griffin. I'm on the Recreation Committee. We met last week, and I'll just kind of give you a rundown of our amenities that we take a look at and discuss. So highlights the gun and pistol range. The berms have been completed, and everybody's out there shooting away. They had several tournaments, and I can't remember exactly how many rounds they shot, but it was a lot. So plans are currently in the works to move one of the structures that's currently at the recycling area, or looking at these plans, up to the shooting range to give another facility in order to provide services to the people that use those facilities. Tennis in Reardon is in full swing. So the courts are looking good. The summer schedule is filling up. Reservations are being made, and it looks like everything's good to go for the summer there. Loch Lomond, the dog park, now has been reopened for business. And the new grass is so popular that we have a lot of visitors from outside the area coming to do their business. So we are ordering up some signs to notify people that these are membership facilities only. At Metfield, the pickleball courts are well on their way, so we'll be out of a pickle and have those up and running again soon. We are reviewing, don't laugh, come on. You told me I was supposed to kind of jazz it up a little. We are reviewing the needs to put a fence around the playground area. That facility that's kind of close to the road and give some relief to the parents and of the younger children to keep an eye on them, especially if there's multiple children playing. Tanyard Creek, the city will actually be adding some no parking signs to the residential area to keep some of those visitors that are using that park out of that side of the area and keep them more to the recreation side. At Branchwood, the trails should be open soon. We had some additional work, I think, with the storms last week, but we're looking and hoping for June sometime, weather permitting. The committee is currently working on the Phase 2 project, and we are conducting actually a planning meeting next month just to look at not only Phase 2 and those plans, which could possibly include additional parking, a picnic area, a pavilion, a trailhead with some other amenities that are still kind of in the works. So we're working on that. As I said, we'll be meeting in a planning meeting next week, not only to discuss some of that, but primarily to look at our recommendations for the next year, for 2017, as well as some strategic plans for the future. So
I want to give you an update on the relocation of the building to the gun range. That actually, we're still investigating it, but it may not work. There may be some problems with that building where great idea, but just unfortunately did not work.
it happens. All right, thanks.
Thank you. And for the Golf Committee, Susan Nuttall.
Hi, my name's Sue Nuttall. I didn't jazz it up. I'm just trying to hit the highlights. So golf, this is the season, so we're fully into operations on the golf courses. And I think, there were a number of comments in the meeting about how beautiful the courses are coming in this year. And really because of the not overseeding, the fairways and things are really coming back much stronger than they have in the past. So a few highlights. Wendy, who's the assistant at Birksdale, is heading up a project for us to get certified for a program with the Audubon Conservative Sanctuary Program for golf courses. Okay, that's a lot of words, but it's a program that helps enhance the natural areas in golf and provide wildlife habitats on our golf courses. And it's just one part of an initiative to make all of our golf courses more eco-friendly and also reduce our operating expense by reducing maintenance costs. So she's working on that. The junior golf clinics start this in the next week, I think, and there's been good response for that. On a marketing side, we're doing the emails, we're doing promotions and off-hours time that have been very successful. We've also gotten the golf events on the main events calendar for the POA, and I want to thank the IT department for doing that. It took them less than a day. Also, they have finished the project to allow non-members to make tee times electronically. So that's really a key factor in being able to have a stronger call to action in our marketing, where you can come and play, and make a tee time. There was a number of members who were concerned about that, and we had quite a few people at the meeting. And Tom had worked with a number of people, and so the decision was made that members could make tee times 10 days in advance, and non-members could make it 7 days in advance. So that gives the non-members the ability to make it on the weekends if they're thinking about next weekend, but still gives our members a little bit of an advantage to get the better times. John Walsh, who's you all know is our new marketing manager, so he's also working now on our ads for the LPGA tournament. So we've got the same buy as last year, but our marketing is going to be much more pointed with a stronger call to action. So it's not just, aren't we a pretty community, but rather come and play golf and spend money. Our other subcommittee, which is the Greens and Courses, they did a review of all the tee boxes this year. They're all in good shape, so that's awesome. And the other big news is the work in Scottsdale has started. We saw them out digging on hole number 2 today. So forklifts are running. Okay. Another thing is just the way the Lakes Committee has members that participate and help enhance the lakes, we have that for golf. And we had both the representative from Lads and Lassies who really watch over the Scottsdale course, come and give a report, and then also the Friends of the Highland. And so they do many, many small things that just improve the course overall. And we want to thank them for their participation. In new business, there was a member who has a golf bag that's pulled by a bicycle. And so we discussed whether or not we would allow that on the courses. And the committee voted unanimously to not approve that because of the safety concerns, and also the concern that that encourages more bicycles on the cart paths, and we have a large enough problem with that today. So we turned that one down. And then we will also be looking towards getting our budget requests in by the end of July for Mr. Judson. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Sure, Ruth.
On Saturday, the Lad and Lassies had a benefit golf tournament, very successful one, I might add, and their benefit is to raise money to do special projects at Scottsdale. And over the 4th of July, the Friends of the Highlands will have their tournament to raise money for special projects as well.
And I would just make a note to the membership as well that these committees that are working to improve our community would love to have you attend their monthly meetings. All of the monthly meetings of our joint advisory committees are open to the membership. The dates and times and locations for those committee meetings are in the weekly Vista. They're on the POA website. So, invest an hour, go check out a committee and learn more, and maybe help them with some of these projects. Okay, I'm going to move to old business on our agenda. We have just 2 items under old business tonight. The first one is policy 3.09. This concerns the adjustment to change the threshold as to when water service is suspended from $200 to 60 days past due. This was first read and approved last month, and tonight serves as the second and final reading to the change to policy 3.09. So, I would start by asking for a motion to approve this policy 3.09.
I make a motion to approve policy 3.09, which will reduce the amount of time an account is allowed to be past due before the water service is suspended.
Thank you, John. Do I have a second? Okay, Joshua seconds it. Any further discussion? One thing I'll just point out, because I know some members have been confused by this, this concerns the shut-off of water service when assessments are not paid, not the water bill itself. Okay, so we're talking about assessments not being paid. With that clarification, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Okay, motion passes unanimously. All right, we have one other policy, and I believe policy 70.5 is also a slight change or adjustment to an existing policy. This clarifies the distinction between amenity usage fees requiring prior board approval of the board of directors and special promotional rates and other fees not requiring approval by the board of directors. Historically, all fees had to be approved by the board, and we found that to be operationally less than efficient, given that we meet once a month. We tie the hands of our staff in terms of marketing, promotions, and that sort of thing. So the purpose of this policy, again, is just to provide reasonable operational flexibility to our staff. And this is, again, the second and final reading, so I'd ask for a motion of approval of policy 7.05.
I move that we accept the change to policy 7.05 to allow promotional rates and other fees to be set by the staff.
Thank you, Pat.
Requiring board approval.
Thank you, Patrick. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ruth seconds. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by raising your right hand, and motion passes unanimously. Okay, moving on to new business. Perhaps the item that most of you have come for. Pretty exciting news and presentation relative to a potential yacht club renovation.
And we have a handout that we've given to all the board members, and I'd like to introduce Tommy Lee, our Director of Business Development, who will make the presentation regarding what was formerly referred to as the Yacht Club.
Good evening, everyone. As you all know, a couple of months ago, the board approved $40,000 to engage an architect to see what we could do at the Yacht Club, and he's gotten back to us and with some really good, exciting stuff, so I'm just going to do a short review of all of that for everyone. This is just a rendering, an artist rendering. Hit the wrong button. We will be adding a stairway to the back of it, so we'll get to that later, but we'll just move on. This thing is sensitive. Okay. There's a drawing there, I swear. Okay. Right here, this is the footprint. We kept the original footprint. We did not move any load-bearing walls. But we did, however, if any of you had been in the Yacht Club, you knew there was a wall right there. And this was an open space here. What we've done is we've opened that up to create seating. We've also gone in where the reception area is and created a really neat lounge and restaurant area that will attach to the side deck. We've also added a bridal suite right in this area right here. The Lake Point Restaurant and Event Center will be a dual concept, moderately priced casual theme style restaurant with an upscale edge, serving fine steaks, pasta, and seafood with a full bar. We do have goals for both of the concepts. The restaurant, we want to be relevant without being trendy, creating a truly unique atmosphere, product, and service offering not found in Bella Vista, Bentonville, or Rogers area. We think that location there at the lake, in combination with some neat things we kind of have planned for it, really will put us above anything else that you can find in those three areas. We're going to focus on local, organic, and farm and water-to-table items. We're going to cater to a wide and diverse clientele, 25 to 65 plus, with an annual income of at least $30,000. Just as a note, I included that the median age and income in Bella Vista is 52 years old, and the annual household income is $63,000. For the event center, we want to be a one-stop shop for weddings with multiple spaces that can accommodate every need. We can do everything from showers to rehearsal dinners to executing the wedding and the reception. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. It will be a multiple-use site that can accommodate business and executive meetings, retreats, group socials, church retreats, family reunions, community offerings, and other relative business. It will be a center place or a focal point for things for the community like Mother's Day, Thanksgiving, where you'll want to bring your family. And then it consistently provides superior resources, atmosphere, service, and product in a professional manner. The key design features is intended to be a contemporary dining experience where a fusion of lakeside casual meets exquisitely prepared food in a vibrant and inviting atmosphere. For me, a dining experience is three-pronged. It's quality of food, quality of service, quality of atmosphere. All of those three things need to come together. The key elements of the restaurant design, like I said, we've created a lively and active entry bar area with some very warm colors. The materials and lighting will invoke an inviting atmosphere for having spirited beverages with friends and neighbors. Dining area with views out to the lake, some intimate lighting. We've created some artistic ceiling features, an area for semi-private dining for larger parties, and a comfortable lounge out on the deck. For the event center, we're going to renovate the entire banquet room with new finishes and event-specific lighting. We've added that ornamental stair down to the wedding pavilion. We'll have new landscaping and site lighting for that whole back area. Creating a bridal suite, we're going to renovate the restrooms. We're going to add a wine bar for private events with the attached deck. And then we'll have a separate key entrance for the restaurant side versus the banquet side. So two parties will enter in two different areas. This is the entry and bar area that I spoke of right here. This is a larger drawing of it. As you can see, you come into the vestibule. And what you can't see is right here, we've created some lounge areas with some couches and seating and things of that nature because, of course, we anticipate being very busy. And if you have a wait or something like that, or it could be an area where if you don't want to sit in the bar, you can go over here and relax and enjoy yourself a little bit. Dining room and lounge areas, again, this is mostly the dining room area, and then you have this little side lounge area here. This is the semi-private dining room we were talking about for larger parties if you want to have an anniversary party or you've got family coming in. And then you've got your larger dining area here. It will seat about 105 people when full, and that's not including the deck. So that's just the inside restaurant area. These are some of the finishes we talked about and some of the looks. This is just kind of giving you a concept of what the inside's going to look like. Of course, the finishes will be a lot warmer and a lot softer. Some of the light fixtures there and some of that ceiling art that I was talking about. The neat thing, and you'll see it closer in a minute, is right over here, we're going to put in some folding glass doors. So it'll be a wall that will open up, and then this whole deck lounge area here becomes one space. It's really neat. This is the banquet room. You can see some of the finishes there. We've come in and we've added a double door right here in the center for better flow. And we also took out this wall right here and opened it up so you can just get better flow through that space. And when you walk by and you look in, you can look and see right out on the lake. Right now, you just don't get any good lake views if you're deeper in the room or building, and we wanted to eliminate that. Menu and signature items, we'll serve fine steaks, pasta, and seafood with a full bar. We'll have unique appetizers, sandwiches, and desserts, and they'll also be an integral part of the menu. The character of the menu, meal prices $8 to $24. Brunch will be a buffet-style affair with a rotating menu of carved meats. We'll have an egg and omelet station. Price range projected in the $14 to $16 range. Signature items will be developed for all sections of the menu. Many of the entree items will also be offered in half or split portions. So if you've got something and you're not real hungry or you want to split it with someone, we'll be able to do that, and that's really a value side of the menu. Another great thing that's going to be value centered on the menu is our POA members. When they come to dine with us, we'll get a 5 to 10% discount depending on what your membership is when you bring your card with you, and we're excited about that as well. Simple menu items there, crab bisque, Caesar salad, house salad wedge. These pictures are representative. Most of them are items that I've had in my own personal file of menu items that I executed, just to kind of give you a visual. Appetizers and small plates, mussels, duck wings. You got to come and try the Sicilian meatball bruschetta. It's delicious. So just go ahead and plan on that. Burgers and sandwiches. We'll, of course, have a signature burger, lobster roll, coastal shrimp burger, chicken and mushroom panini, things of that nature. And then here's some entree items through the concept: beef tips, a bouillabaisse, steaks, pastas, scallops, some blackened fish. Some of the menu items that we'll be able to split are like the pastas, and these are pork chops here, the veal piccata, so we will have those types of things.
Tommy, we need to move on. I didn't eat dinner and I'm starved.
Okay, I'm sorry. What I was talking about earlier is the nano wall for the deck is there. The wine bar special function room, some of the features and what it's going to look like on this side here really gives us an advantage for additional parties. And some additional stuff.
Slow down, I was kidding. You
Oh.
don't need to go fast, right?
We are going to add some landscaping, seawall, gazebo, and staircase. I practiced to keep it under 10 minutes, so.
Oh, no. Take your time.
This is a gazebo, which will be located here. This will be the wedding area. This is a kind of an example of what the staircase will look like. We're going to go along the shoreline and really clean that up, put in a seawall, and add some really neat lighting along that seawall, so at night, after the sun goes down, you can still see the depth out to the water. Yeah, this is just a really unique space. This is going to be a great space for rehearsal dinners, business meetings, and things of that nature. We're calling it the wine bar, but it's really going to have an opportunity. We can do chef tables here. We can do wine tastings and things of that nature, but we can also have a rehearsal dinner, a small reception, and things of that nature, because we can utilize this. This is the largest deck on the building, and it's all covered, so we can put tables out underneath it. It just really adds a neat nuance to the entire building. We are also planning to reseal and stripe the parking lot. Part of that will be adding some additional handicap spots as well. Marketing strategy, we are targeting specific customer bases as well as provide shotgun approach to the general population. Already had several meetings with Mr. Walsh back there in the back, and they've got some great ideas on that targeting, and we're really looking forward to reaching out to people. Operational strategies, provide a high-touch quality dining experience for our guests. We are going to spend a lot of time training our staff. And when I talk about high touch, I want to make sure that your manager's visible, your chef is visible. I want him out on the floor talking to y'all and getting feedback. Versatile, knowledgeable, and skilled staff. We are already in development of detailed operations manuals for front and back of the house. And we're also creating tools for ongoing assessment of operations, because as your business matures, it changes. You want to be able to keep your finger on the pulse. Purchasing supply chain strategy. I'm interviewing all of the vendors myself. We will pre-screen all of them for quality and what we will and will not order from them. We will use fresh local produce and other perishables. And of course, for the little things like paper, we'll use our large-scale vendors for savings. Opening team, working with Tom on this, combined just for informational purposes, so you don't think that I, came here straight from Waffle House. Combined, we have 55 years in restaurant catering and special event business, project conception and management, renovation, construction, opening, operations analysis, sales, revenue acceleration, all of that stuff you can see there. Total cost of design, construction, and opening, tax, tag, and title, $1,338,802. That's turnkey in the building, inviting people in for dinner. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tommy. Very excellent presentation. I very much appreciate it. Does the board have any particular questions for Tommy before I call for a motion? No? Okay.
For the sake of our,
Microphone, Pat.
for the sake of our guests here this evening, we're looking at approximately March timeframe for
That is
completion.
correct. We still have to work all the kinks out with the construction company, but we're targeting March. We definitely want to start for the season.
Any other questions from the board on this topic? Okay. Hearing no other questions, I will make a motion. I think I can do that. It's actually a two-part motion. Part one is that I will make a motion to approve the expenditure of $1,338,802 for the renovation of the yacht club, and in addition to hire Kinco Construction to serve as the construction management company on this project. And then part two of this motion is that I'd make a motion to waive the 3-bid requirement for the hiring of Kinco Construction to serve as the construction management company, but that all subcontracted work subcontracted through Kinco will continue to be subject to the 3 competitive bid policy. So those are the two motions, the hiring of Kinco, and then secondly, that we would be waiving the 3-bid requirement.
I'll second both motions.
And I would open the floor for any further discussion from the board on either portion of the motion. Okay, yeah, and Tom made a very good point. We will be voting on these two motions individually. So I'll call for a vote on the first one. Part one, the motion to approve the expenditure of $1,338,802 for the renovation of the yacht club and to hire Kinco Construction to serve as the construction management company.
Before you do that, can I?
Sure.
Kind of point out that the Kinco Construction Company is the one that did the original yacht club?
Yes,
And they're-
you are correct.
And
Very
they're
good point.
familiar with it, and so that it will help in that situation.
We actually spoke with some of the individuals that worked on the original construction. It also talks about the ability there, or the quality of the construction, because the bones of that building, after all these years, is still strong.
Thank you for that clarification, Ruth and Tom. Okay, I'm going to call for a vote on the motion. All in favor, please signify. Okay, all opposed, and motion carries unanimously. The second part of that same topic is the motion to waive the three bid requirement for the hiring of Kinco Construction to serve as the construction management company, but that all subcontracted work through Kinco Construction will require three competitive bids. A call for a vote on that motion. All in favor? And opposed, same sign. And that motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much.
And as we get into the project, what we'll do is on a consistent basis, probably every other week, either Tommy or myself will give tours during the construction, just so all the property owners can see what's going on and how the POA funds are being utilized, so that they, get a good feeling about how we're utilizing the funds in an appropriate manner. Also, if you know any brides that want to get married next year, please bring them to our attention.
Thank you, Tom. Next item on the agenda is a request from Keith Imes, our golf course maintenance manager or director, concerns the irrigation pump at Brittany. I'll just read a little bit of background information for the benefit of the members here. Keith is requesting a capital variance waiver for the repair of the water pump at Brittany. The estimated cost of this work is just slightly under $28,000 at $27,587. Two primary reasons why Keith is not asking for a waiver of the three bid requirement. The first case is that Houston's Pump Service, who is the recommended vendor, is familiar with this pump since they initially installed it at Branchwood, and then when the Branchwood golf course was shut down, this is the firm that removed the pump from Branchwood, transported it over to Brittany, and installed it at Brittany, so they're very familiar with it. And then because this is one of the two pumps on the Metfield Brittany golf courses, this is our source of irrigation, and we need to move quickly to make sure that we have adequate water for the protection of the turf and the greens. So for those two reasons, Keith is requesting a waiver of the three bid requirement. So I would like to suggest the following motion, or I will make the following motion. The board grants management of the POA the authority to move forward with the repair of the irrigation pump at Brittany at an estimated cost of $27,587.29 and waives the requirement of getting three bids. And Ruth, I heard you second that?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? I'll just make a note, again, for the benefit of the members and those watching. Worst case from Houston Pump is that this will be a $27,000 project. Once they get into it, it's possible that perhaps it's just the pump and not the motor, and in which case we could be looking at less than half of that cost, or about $14,000 to get that entire irrigation system working again. Any further discussion? Okay, I'll call for a vote on the motion to waive bid requirement and authorize management to engage Houston Pump Service to repair the pump at Brittany. All in favor? And those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Next, we are on the agenda is item 15. Tom, do you want to have any comment on this one, or do you want me to just roll along?
No, we're just requesting that the board grant us the approval to go forward and hire SCM, which is the same company that we just saw with the architectural plans for the yacht club, for some additional buildings within the POA, and also to hire Kinko Construction. And so between the two of them, what we plan on doing is getting the conceptual plans and the costing so that we can bring those two items back to the board for additional projects down the road. We are requesting $62,150 on it. And because of the relationship that we're building with SCM and the quality of their output, and if you recall, when we sought approval for the original $40,000 on the conceptual plans for the yacht club, we went out and we interviewed 3 different companies and got multiple bids. And we felt that SCM was the best company to work with. So we're requesting that we not have to go through the same 3-bid process because we've already established a relationship with them.
Okay, thank you very much for that background, Tom. I will make a motion or ask if anybody else would like to make a motion on this topic. I'm on a roll? Okay. The board, the Bella Vista Board of Directors grants management of the POA the authority to move forward with the hiring of SCM Architecture and Kinko Construction for a combined total cost of $62,150 for the development of architectural plans and project cost estimates for a few additional POA-owned buildings and waiving the 3-bid requirement. Do I have a second on that motion? John, thank you for the second. Any further discussion by the board on this topic? Okay, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of this motion? And those opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimously. And we are now down to, I think, the last item that Mr. McCash might have requested of us for new business.
Yeah, that's correct. It's to secure an alcohol permit for serving liquor at the Scottsdale Golf Links Club requires a motion by the board, so this is what this motion is pertaining to.
Okay. And right now, you know, I'll admit I'm not a big liquor drinker, so we don't sell liquor at Scottsdale right now, but we're moving in that direction is the point here.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
It'll be for beer, wine, and liquor.
Beer, wine, and liquor, okay? And we simply need board authorization to submit the application,
Correct.
okay? Patrick, question?
Will this allow the sale of alcoholic beverages to be consumed on the golf course? Or will those alcoholic beverages be consumed only within the building of the clubhouse?
It'll permit consumption on the course itself.
Will it provide the capability of selling such on the course?
It will, yes.
Okay, thank you, good question. Thanks for the clarification, Doug. I will make a motion that to approve the submission of the application for an alcohol permit to serve beer, wine, and liquor at the Scottsdale Golf Club. And do I have a second from Ruth?
Second.
And now further discussion, Patrick.
Is there any reason why we limit this only to Scottsdale? Is it feasible to extend this or offer other permits, get other permits for the same thing at the other courses.
Yeah, we're currently working on the other ones, but this is the one that we needed to move forward the quickest on. But you are correct.
But each one needs to be treated separately, does it?
Correct.
Yeah.
Ruthie, microphone.
It can't be a blanket across all clubs, each
No,
one is
no, no.
separate.
Right, I understood that, but
And this one was more time sensitive than the other ones.
okay, thank you.
Good clarification. Any other questions on this topic? Okay, the motion's been made, it's been seconded. I'll call for a vote. All in favor? And all opposed? And motion carries unanimously. We have just one item left, and I don't think it's even a motion, but just a clear proclamation that we are going to be changing the timing of the Rules and Regulations Committee meetings of the Board of Directors. The R&R Committee, as we affectionately call it, is a committee of the board. It's not part of the joint advisory committees. And the suggestion, or the plan, and not a suggestion, it is a plan that we're going to implement. They will now take place on the Monday following the first Thursday of the month. The meetings will be held here in this boardroom and will start at 11 a.m. And these future dates will certainly be promoted in the local newspaper and on the POA website. But if you want to mark your calendar for the next couple months out, that's June 6th, July 11th, August 8th. You get the idea. We're simply moving the date of the meeting to take place the Monday following the first Thursday of the month. Patrick.
Just clarification for those in attendance. This occurred at the recommendation of Tom, and something that I, as a member of the Rules and Regulations Committee, had recognized that many of the rules and regulation modifications are brought up in the general manager and board meeting, which is the first meeting of the month. And what had happened previously was that the Rules and Regulations Committee would meet before that meeting. And simply to coordinate the timing, that's the reason for the change.
Thank you for the clarification, Patrick. And again, this is simply a committee of the board, doesn't require any particular motion or action. This is just a method of informing the membership of the change in this meeting date. Tom, do you have a comment?
Yeah, I'd like to call to everybody's attention that the work session, which normally takes place on the second Thursday of the month, we're going to move it for this month. We're going to have it on the Wednesday, and I wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that, and I graciously thank the board for accommodating that request. It was from myself, so I can go back to North Carolina and see my high school-age daughter graduate from high school.
And that's a perfect lead-in to the final item on our agenda, just some announcements. The Chief Operating Officer / board meeting will be held Thursday, June 2nd at 2:30 here in this room. This is a closed discussion meeting between the board and the Chief Operating Officer. Then there will be a Board of Directors work session, as Tom mentioned, which will be on Wednesday, June 8th, typically on a Thursday, but that'll be moved back to Wednesday, June 8th. And then the Board of Directors regular meeting for Thursday, June 16th, which will be Andrew's first meeting, will be here at 6:30 in the Country Club Board Meeting Room. And I think I can now declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you all for being here.